AI-powered app builders like Lovable, Cursor, and Bolt have become really popular over the past few months. However, it's also really easy to get stuck halfway in between, especially if you haven't planned your app out and your prompts out very well. So in this tutorial, I'm going to show you a little hack that you can use to fully plan out your prompts and to almost ensure that the series of prompts will really result in the app that you're looking for. If you're new here, my name is Shub, and I build AI automations to help businesses and professionals save time and money. And as we dive into the tutorial, I'd really appreciate it if you could give this video a like. It really helps with the algorithm. And remember to subscribe for more on AI and automation. So with that out of the way, let's get started. Now, the most important thing in vibe coding is planning your app out. And unfortunately, the kind of quote unquote vibe with vibe coding is that you can just fire away any random prompts and eventually it'll lead into an app. But that's really far from the truth. So with this three-step process, you can do some competitor research to see what other successful apps are doing. Then we're going to use a kind of secret tool to supercharge our prompt. And finally, we're going to input those prompts into Lovable and build out our app. So let's go ahead and get started with building this Memories app. So step one, we're going to go into Perplexity and we're just going to tell it, I want to build a Memories app for users to store and recall important memories and photos. And you do some research and see what core features and functions are most important. And let's see what it comes up with. So it's going to search the web. It's going to see what other existing apps are out there, and it's going to give us a list of features that we want to work with. We're also going to ask it to find some similar apps. Memlife and Remento look pretty similar to what I was going for. So let's go ahead and so we have Remento and we have Memlife. Now for the secret sauce, which is Google's NotebookLM. Now, NotebookLM happens to be incredible at designing prompts. So it's free to use. Just search for NotebookLM or go to notebooklm.google.com and create a new notebook. And it's going to ask you to add sources. So under sources, you want to go to website and paste in your URLs, which in this case would be Memlife and Remento. So now that we're in NotebookLM, we've added a source, which is Remento in this case. Let's go ahead and give it, let's go ahead and give it this prompt. I want you to output a multi-step prompt for generating a Memories app. The prompt should produce a complete and fully functional app with a homepage, authentication, database, and core functionality. Let's just specify what functionality we want. Create new memories, view memories, edit memories. Make sure it is aesthetically pleasing. Let's go ahead and fire this off and let NotebookLM do its magic. All right, incredible. Here's a multi-step prompt designed to generate a complete and fully functional Memories app, drawing inspiration and concepts from the Remento sources provided. Okay, so we have step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, step 6, and 7. Perfect. Now we're going to copy each step one by one into Lovable and let it work its magic. Go ahead and paste this in and let's fire off Lovable. Lovable is now doing its magic. It's going to spin up the core frame of our app, and we're going to build on each feature through the prompts that NotebookLM has generated for us. Incredible. Look at that. Now let's continue adding prompts. Let's go ahead and copy the second one. Add it in. Let's see what it does. So the home page looks a lot better than it did before. Amazing. Now, I'm not sure why it's throwing this error because we are seeing the entire website. Let's go ahead and click in and see what's going on. Cannot find the name heart. We can just dismiss this for now. That's fine. Let's go back here. And now let's paste in step 3. And at this point, we may need to integrate Supabase. So let's go ahead and do that once that happens, when we're prompted to do that. All right. So in order to do this, we do need to set up Supabase. So let's just go ahead. Supabase is free. So let's go ahead and set it up. Would you like to set up Supabase integration first? So in order to integrate Supabase, so to connect to Supabase, I want to click this little green button up here, connect Supabase. I've already connected my Supabase account, so I just need to connect a project. I'm going to go ahead and create a project. Let's call it Lovable Memories Tutorial. Give it a password and remember what the password is. And you can choose any region. That's fine for now since we're just testing. Okay, perfect. That's done. Let's go back into Lovable and choose the project. Now it's going to connect and start working on the authentication and the earlier Supabase integrations. So since it's telling us to set up authentication, let's just go ahead and ask it to complete authentication setup. Oops. So as you chat with Lovable and build the app, you may be slightly diverted from your original prompts, especially when it comes to setting up the database and everything. But once all of that is set, you just have to follow the prompts you got from NotebookLM and continue building your app out. Okay, apply changes. Perfect. So now it's building out the authentication system with login, sign up, profile management, etc. So we have the entire authentication flow set up. Now it's telling us that you may want to disable confirm email in your authentication settings. And that's a good suggestion because otherwise this is going to throw an error. So we can click authentication settings. It's going to take us here and let's go ahead and disable email confirmation. So you click on email and just disable confirm email for now. Click save. And once you move your app to production, you can come back in here and enable that option. Let's go back to Lovable and let's continue building the app. So now we are at step 4. And let's add this prompt in and see what's up. As we're giving it each prompt, it's going to update the database as required, and it's going to update the user experience as required as well, which is incredible. And once all of this is done, it's going to ask us to confirm and apply that. And once this is applied, it is going to build out the rest of the app. All right, so this is all done. Now, for some reason, the build was unsuccessful. Let's go ahead and tap into that and see what's up. Okay, let's try and fix this. Okay, so for some reason we're getting an error that the web server is down. Now it is possible that the issue is with Lovable rather than our app. And this is a natural part of development. You are going to run into errors. It's not going to be perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and just refresh the page and see if that fixes it or not. And if that forces the web server to boot up. And if it doesn't, we just check again in half an hour or an hour and see if the service is back up. All right, perfect. So refreshing did seem to fix it. Incredible. Um, Now let's go ahead and add in step 5, viewing and editing memories. Paste that in. So it's fixing the errors first, and then it'll implement the viewing and editing functionality that we requested. It's implemented all of this as well. Let's see what the error is. Okay, let's go ahead and try to fix that and see what the issue is. So these errors are fairly innocuous. It should be able to fix it, fingers crossed, but let's see what it comes up with. All right, perfect. So now that all of that is done, let's go ahead and see how many prompts we have left. It's already done the database, but let's just go ahead and add this prompt in to confirm that it does indeed work. Okay, so the database already includes all of this. The only thing that's missing is the export and backup functionality. So it's going to go ahead and implement a export system that allows users to download all of their content, which is really important, right? It's a pretty good feature to have. Okay, perfect. Everything seems to be done. Let's see what the errors are again. So it's in the export settings. Let's go ahead and try to fix that. It's doing its thing. Let's see what it comes up with. Let me refer back to the prompts and see what's missing or what's left. Let's leave the last step for now and actually test out the app and see whether it works or not. I'm going to go ahead and create an account. Create account. Account created. Okay, so it is giving this message, but we're not actually sending the email, so we can ignore this for now. We can sign in, see if it works or not. Perfect. So we don't have any recent memories, but there is a feed of recent memories. There's a library of all memories. Incredible. And we click new memory. We can now, we have a whole list of story prompts. These are featured prompts. We have all prompts. We can create custom prompts as well, which is incredible. But for now, how I built this app next. Now we need to record the story. And what I'm guessing is that we haven't added any functionality for transcribing the recording. So this is probably going to throw an error, but it's very easily fixable. So let's go ahead and test this and see what happens. Hi, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hi, 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 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is a memories app. Okay. Transcribe and save. And let's see whether it does the transcription or not. Shouldn't be able to do it. Okay, so the transcription failed. So the transcription failed, and that is completely expected because we have not provided an OpenAI transcription key. So let's go back into Lovable and now enable the chat option. Otherwise, we're going to be using up our credits and ask it, the transcription failed. And it's probably going to tell us that we have not provided the OpenAI key. So it's going to review the code. It's just going to make sure that that is indeed the issue. And it's going to suggest what to do next. Okay, so it's giving us a solution. There's actually a few errors here. One is that you have to add your OpenAI API key to Supabase secrets. We're going to go ahead and do that. Verifying the storage bucket setup. Okay, so it seems like the audio file is trying to get uploaded to a location that does not exist. So it needs to fix that as well. And it will also add error handling as well. So first off, let's go ahead into Supabase and add the OpenAI API key. So we can go back into our Supabase. Make sure you're in the right project. Go to settings, go to edge functions, and we need to add a secret here. So the key is OpenAI API key. Copy that, paste it in. So I can just create a new one, lovable test. Okay, we've added to the default project, create secret key. Copy. Let's save that here. Save. Okay, perfect. So the API key is now added. Go back into Lovable. Let's implement the plan. And this is going to check whether there is a storage bucket for the files. Make sure everything's A-okay, and then and then we can test again. Right, perfect. So it's doing all of that within Supabase. Let's go ahead and apply the changes. We've already added the API key, so I'm just going to say done. And finally, it's going to implement some error handling as well. All right, perfect. So let's hit cancel over here and start again just to make sure everything's working fine. New memory. All All right, let's just do childhood adventure for now. So record the story. Okay, so that is another bug that we're running into. Let's go ahead back into the chat. If I choose an existing prompt and click record this story, nothing happens. Makes sense. We can just click implement. It'll make the changes and then we can go back and see what's up. All right, let's go ahead and see if this works. Record this story. Perfect. So what was your favorite childhood adventure or the most trouble you got into as a kid? My favorite childhood adventure was when I went skiing for the first time. Now that the recording is complete, let's just test everything's working. We can play it back. My favorite childhood adventure was when I went skiing for the first time. Incredible. And now transcribe and save. And hopefully this should now work. Incredible. My favorite childhood adventure was when I went skiing for the first time. Transcription complete. Next, we can choose to add any photos. So I'm just going to add a screenshot of this just as a proof of concept. So a photo has been added. Hit next. We can add a tag as well. And publish memory. So we have this memory saved here. We can play it back. We can view it. We can edit it. And all of that is set. Now, the last thing to test is to log out and log back in and make sure that any memories we've saved still appear. I'm going to sign out. You can sign back in. So the memory is indeed still there. Incredible. The last thing to test is just to make sure that the settings all work. So let's see what we have in settings. We have profile information. We have full name. Under data and backup, we can export all data. We can download all media files. Perfect. Let's go ahead and just make sure that it's working. Incredible. Here is the entire export. Perfect. Let's download media files. We've downloaded the media file as well. Incredible. But for some reason, it's not showing the photos. So you can dive back in and troubleshoot that. Let's just go into privacy and see what's up. Okay, encryption is on. Backups are on. And whether there are any notifications. Now, we have not configured notifications. This requires additional and more complex setup. So I'm going to ignore this for now. But let's go back to memories and see whether the photo is appearing here or not. So the photo is not appearing. Let's go ahead back into chat and see. I had uploaded a photo, but it does not appear. Okay, so let's go ahead and implement. Okay, apply. Okay, so it seems to have fixed the issue. Let's go ahead and create a new memory and see whether we are able to upload a photo or not. Test, 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 test. Transcribe and save. Okay, perfect. Next, add a photo, add our image. Next, uncategorize, test, test, publish memory. Let's see if the image is showing. Okay. So it seems like the image is not showing in this display. But let's dive into settings and just make sure that it's picking up the images now. So it is indeed picking up that we have uploaded photos. So we know that it's making the connection between the photo and our account. All that's left to do is to update the view and edit memory screen to show the photos. So update view and edit memory to display the image. All right, let's go ahead and open this up and see whether it works. And there you have it. You have the photos as well. Incredible. So there you have it. In the span of 30 minutes or less, we've developed a fully functional memories and transcription app. If you enjoyed this tutorial, I really appreciate it if you could give this video a like, and do remember to subscribe for more on AI and automation.